I'm Sand.
I'm Holmes. We are Team Murder.
And this is our Thermal Expansion 4 tutorial series. The fuck did you do? Welcome to the first episode of a new series we'll be doing. If you've noticed, we both have new audio recording devices. It's
You have a
Mexi.
cape too.
What?
Hold still.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit E.
Why do we have capes? Yeah, I started the recording. We hadn't even prepared yet. I'm gonna run in and explain the things.
Ow.
But we suddenly realized that we both have capes. Neither of us know why. If you do know why, please leave a message in the comments. Alright, so, you can see we're on our single player, or, fucking hate my life, multiplayer world, but we're not. This is actually a copy of the world. This is going to be our new server for this. Because we already have some stuff here, I'm going to start off, with his help, doing a getting started guide for thermal expansion. It's one we started with here, so we've got some stuff so I can demonstrate. We're going to have some annotations popping up around the corners, or the middles, I don't know, it's whatever he decides. Yeah, so first we're going to have energy storage and transmission, as well as other related things. The energy generation, the power usage, so the machines, some of the basic starting machines, and anything else we couldn't really fit into those categories. So you can click on the annotations and it'll go, yeah, basically you can go straight to those parts of the video. But first I do believe we will start with power generation, because I don't know why I'd show you a machine I can't run, or storage I can't put anything in. Yeah. So we will be back in a moment once we've got that set up because of the impromptu. Why the fuck do you have a cape? I'm so confused.
Like a door. It's like a door. It doesn't like wave, it just sort of flaps like a beaver tail.
It's like, WoW does the same thing. That game's older than Minecraft, I think. Oh god, I was inside your face. Yep, we will be back in a moment. Alright, so this is the first part, which will be the energy generation. Now, when asked what should we put down, Holmes decided to put down some fancy lamps. I actually put down what we're talking about. So, there are 5 engines. Now, this is default thermal expansion, so none of the mods. What is the other one? Extra Utilities, I believe it is, has a large selection of different engines and such to use. All RF compatible, but we're talking about thermal expansion, so that's why there's only 5. The first one, and this is probably going to be the first one you make unless you're extremely lucky, is the steam dynamo. So, the steam dynamo uses water. Water goes here, I think. Coal goes in here, that's obvious. And it generates steam. Oh god.
Yeah, you can also use charcoal, right, if you don't have any coal available?
Yes, that is correct. You can use anything flammable. Go kill that. Ah!
Come on in. Where is he? He got a shovel.
I got a wrench. That was exciting.
Alright then.
Yeah, so this generates steam. Now when it generates steam, it generates power. Now right now it's storing up steam and then storing up power. It has its own internal buffer. We'll get into more about storage in a moment. Now, this amount is the maximum it can do, so that's, I think the steam sits at half and no energy, outputting a maximum. This will slowly spool down to pretty much, I think like 5 RF per tick. And then that's basically just being wasted at that point. But it will scale itself back. Second engine, this will probably be the second engine you'll make. I think we've got a boatload of those now. But this is actually a lot easier to make than initially observed. The magmatic dynamo, put lava in, get power out. Done. Super simple.
Pretty simple.
It's not too hard to make. In terms of recipes, the steam dynamo here uses 2 copper gears, redstone, more copper, and one of the coils. I can't remember which one, but it's the one with silver in the middle. I'm pretty sure. Great, now I'm doubting myself. There we go. Ah, shouldn't have doubted myself. Now, the second one, the magmatic dynamo, also uses the same coil. Redstone transmission coil. The issue is the invar, so you need to get iron and ferrous iron, mix them together, 2-to-1 iron to ferrous. You got to make the gears and all that, so just gonna let that happen.
Nope, unpleasant.
Now the other one is the reactant dynamo. I know it like mixes. Oh wait, here we go. There's like little tutorial buttons. Yeah, except it doesn't really say a whole lot. That's why we're here. Yeah, so you put a solid piece and a liquid something in there, and there's a bunch of different options depending on what it is. It generates different power. The compression dynamo varies according to energy demand. I think this is just like a liquid engine. It just uses water as coolant and gasoline or biodiesel. And the innervated dynamo, yeah, redstone flux from natural objects that store it. So I guess this runs on redstone? To be honest,
That's what it would appear. Put some redstone in it.
yeah, I haven't even played with a lot of these, but cool. It just runs on redstone. That's a terrible idea.
You can make liquid red, can't you? Or liquid redstone.
No internal tank, so you wouldn't be able to put it in here. Which might be able to use a bucket of it. But yeah, so those are the other 3 engines you have available. These are the 2 you're going to want to stick with to get started in. Keep in mind that this is compatible with Railcraft's steam tanks, and you can also make this large. All you need to do is use the Alchemist accumulator to pump water in, some sort of pipage system. There's a bunch of different mods out for that to pump coal in. This one, same idea, fluid ducts from a tank or something. They've got tanks in the mod that are actually much bigger now. We'll talk about that in storage next, and you pump that in there. So both of these are fairly easily automatable, which allows you to scale them to a large variety. I honestly normally have my bases running on magmatic dynamos till the day they die, which is normally quicker than I'd like. But that'll be it for power generation. So we will see you in a minute when we may or may not have this cleaned up, and not all of it anyway. And we will talk about the different types of storage and transmission of both fluids, energies, all sorts of great stuff. See you in a bit. And now on to energy storage, liquid storage, all kinds of stuff. I would like to point out to start, these are nothing to do with thermal expansion. These are from a mod called Ender.io, as you can see from Wayla up top, which is also a very handy mod, as is NEI. But the ducts have been going through a rework. They released thermal expansion 4. This is what this is, 4.0.6, I think. I can't quite remember. I'm going to be honest about that. So they didn't put them in there because they wanted to get it out quicker. They knew that people would find their way, and they're doing a major rework. When that happens, there will be an annotation here. Can't see me pointing. Somewhere on the screen, and it will link to the little guide for that. But for now, I will be using Ender.io. I suggest you do, purely for the fact that you can do this. That's power, and that's a fluid in one block. It's awesome. But anyway, so the creative energy cell and tank are designed for exactly this. I will be using them when I demonstrate machines and whatnot, as this will output power at, oh, Jesus God, that got high. Didn't used to be that high, I don't think. But yeah, it outputs at a extremely fast rate. You can, yeah, that's loud. You can shift click to go down by hundreds. Control click to go down by 5s. And just click to go down by... Oh, that's cool. This is a little new. So left clicking and right clicking now do different, and it actually just shows it when you hold down different things. So control, nothing, shift. Good job, guys. I like that feature a lot. On to what you want to know about. So these are all the cool things. I've organized them by tier. I'm not too sure. Yeah, no, in this version tiers are a locked thing. They exist with machines too now. This is the creme de la creme. You can see what it can do. That is that 50 million RF? That's a lot. 10,000 RF per tick. And this one is, God, almost half of 1,000 buckets. This is the top tier. We go down one to the redstone. Sounds kind of ironic. Smaller. Now we're starting to get into earlier tier. This is going to be one of your first things to upgrade is to the hardened energy cell. And hardened tanks are, you're probably going to have those fairly quickly too. They're super useful. So, what are we getting ourselves into? The leadstone energy cell, portable tank, 8 buckets, hardened tank, 32 buckets. You can make this pretty simply. I just go to it in NEI. So 4 glass and a copper, super easy. Get some invar real quick, just some small amounts, especially if you're going magmatic. Then you make yourself a hardened tank, super easy. If you're using Ender IO, fused quartz is a little easier. If you're not, stop. Yeah, there we go. Hardened glass is a little tricky to make. You need a pulverizer and you need another and more advanced machine. I'm stalling for time. I can't remember it. It's the one that smelts 2 things at once. So this might be a little more unattainable in just straight thermal expansion. I haven't even made that yet in this. But the energy cells, which I'm sure is what you are all here for. I can't spell. There we go. If you can't tell, this is my first official tutorial. So, a block of redstone, so 9. Not too hard to get. Some glass, some lead. Some copper around that. You haven't done anything yet. You used to have to fill these. Or no, was it the later ones, I think? I think it actually was the later ones you had to fill. So it's a little easier now. But electrum's a little tricky to get. You get a pulverized gold and silver. You get 2 per. Because you're using 2 in, right? So, now this is a little easy. 4 invar. That's just as easy as upgrading a tank. And then, bam! You get the hardened energy cell. Right around the lead energy cell. I will go into this for here. A lot of the extra stuff I was going to say for miscellaneous. But this is extremely important. You have 3 options you can set things to. Yellow, which if I shift click the center, is nothing. Off. Don't do a thing. Blue is take in. So from yellow you can right click, or you can double click from yellow. Right click goes forward, left click goes back. Very simple. So the blue means it can come in, the orange means it can go out. If you do not set these properly, it will not work. That's very important to note. It's caused a lot of problems for me in the past. Energy status, same as usual. Whether it's affected by high or low redstone, which is on or off. Same controls for here. Now note, when you upgrade from the leadstone to the hardened, this is what your settings will be. Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to be fancy. It's not working. Oh, God. There we go. I don't know why that was necessary. Yeah, so it will keep the settings. So, that's another important thing to note. For the tanks. Oh, God damn it. When you want them to output, you gotta right-click them. Blue means input, right means output. It's also important to note that when you put them on top of each other, it'll auto-output to the tank below. So if you're thinking of storing a bunch of stuff, and you have, for some reason, you have 2 tanks of lava and you want to keep them separate, don't do that. Bad idea. But it's also useful because you can just stack tanks and they'll just work. And our energy creation, so I guess, yeah, this will be everything for this. Wow. These topics are a little lighter than I thought they were going to be. I will see you next for the machines. This will be the heavier aspect, short of the miscellaneous, which I'm not too sure what's going to involve yet. It's basically anything I didn't cover. So I will see you when I get that ready. It should be fairly simple and straightforward. I'm just going over basic stuff. Oh god, my mouse. So step 1 is the redstone furnace. Now, an important thing to note about the redstone furnace is I don't really think it's much quicker. So, you know, when you're just getting started, it might not really be necessary. So, you know, you don't need to feel like you need to rush for it. If you had to rush for something, I'd say the pulverizer. So, I'm not sure if this is NEI only or not, but if you hit this, you can see what you can grind up. The important part of this is Copper, one of the starting materials you'll get. You get 2 dust, so it's a doubling. That's where things get important. But an even bigger important thing is you start getting a chance to get other things. Like example, 10% chance per to get gold. That's pretty good. Copper is a surface metal, right? So, but the thing is, before I get much further, I should also note that they've changed some things around. So this is the augmentations. You can set where things go. That's what I'm going to get into. So I can set orange to this side, blue to that side, orange to the top, and blue to the top. So I can put a chest here, and it'll pull things down, grind them up, ship them over, send them up. So that's one of the main reasons why you'd want the redstone furnace over a normal furnace, is that automation. And that's a very, very simple little ore processing station you can get. Say you're in, well, something like this. You know, trees aren't that common. They're tiny. You can grow more, I know. But say you want to get the most for your wood. The sawmill's a great way to do that. When you put... Bibliocraft. When you put in... Sure, whatever. When you put in a log, you get 6 planks instead of 4. So every 2 logs you put in, it's a free one. And you get sawdust, which you can turn into paper or more planks, I think. No, sawdust turns into compressed sawdust, which you cook into charcoal. Yes. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold going. Igneous extruder. You do believe that we built our nether portal out there without the capabilities to mine obsidian, because we use this. We just put in a tank of lava and a aqueous accumulator and set it to obsidian, and it uses one bucket of each, and Bob's your uncle. So that's a machine that you should definitely think of getting earlier rather than later. It comes in handy a lot. And if you need a cobble gen, it's that too. I hate me. Now, the aqueous accumulator, simple little item to make. You just put water on each. So think of this. Think of making an infinite source pool with that as one of the pools you draw from. That's all it is. Very simple. And then you can set that to output orange, input blue. There you go. That's all it takes. Now, I didn't realize this was so easy to make. Induction smelter is just like a furnace. Can it actually just furnace? No, it can't just furnace. But the trick is you can smelt 2 things at once. So, we talked about making the Electrum. Now, for that you need to grind it up, or boop and boop. It's not getting power. It's just not getting power. Now it's getting power. So it'll smelt those 2 things together and give you your output to Electrum. Same with the... Same with the Invar. Screwed myself up. So that'll do that. It'll also get secondaries. So whenever you smelt down ore, which you can do just like you could normally, you will get 2 if you use sand. It's very important, because if you don't put the sand in, you can't get it. So a useful thing would be... Actually, no. Hold that thought. I will go over that in a moment. Actually, no, we'll do that in miscellaneous. Yes, we'll have contraptions there. Some of the advanced machines that you can get. Glacial precipitator, pulls in water, makes snowballs, snow, and ice. Magma crucible, melts things, I mean anything. And fluid transposer, which fills things. The magma crucible can smelt down redstone. That's important. New thing that was added with this new version, melt down redstone, pump it into here, same way with the sides. So for this one, orange is right now the output, so orange goes to the right. Blue comes in. So that's how you'd set that up. And then you take the melted redstone and mix it with glowstone, and you will get blaze powder. That's the kind of... This is basically a 2-step construction. So This is a very interesting block setup. There's a lot of very cool recipes and mostly high-end stuff. But with that musical interlude, I do believe it is time to get to the contraptions and other miscellaneous items. I will go over some ore generation and whatnot. I will need to get some stuff set up, and I will join you back in a little bit. Alright, and now for some contraptions. I will start off by going over some basics from the machines. I believe I touched on some of them. Over here, every machine will have these that uses power. So, what it's currently using, 0, it's not doing anything. What it can use as a maximum, 20. Now, if I put in an upgrade, or sorry, an augmentation as they're called, this is similar to the the upgrade systems from Industrial Craft, I believe. Let's see. Yes, I want this one. So this is the best this can get. And it doesn't go up. Okay, I guess it doesn't read out. But the higher version, this one being resident, because that's just what NEI spawned me, the more you can get. By default, you get the 3. So, servo, which allows it to push and pull through systems. Yeah, automated output. So it can push out to the nearby machines. Redstone, which allows it to be controlled by a redstone signal. Honestly, I don't really ever need that, so I can just take that out. Bob's your uncle. Now I can put an upgrade in. Well, I would be putting this upgrade in. And the modular framework allows you to change which side is what. So tier 1 you can get an upgrade in, which is a very interesting system. It allows you to kind of cost manage the augments, and I thought this was going to update with it, but it doesn't seem to. And the maximum energy stored, or the amount of energy that is stored, I should say. Some basic information about it. And then this is the configuration. So I've set up a few things. This one takes items from in here. So I'll put half in here, half in here, half in here. All messed up, just to confuse someone with OCD. Oh god, you're opening things. Goes to a hopper. Goes to the blue. Now, I have these backwards. I was so focused on getting this cool, I have this backwards. So you get to watch me set it up now. It's actually probably better. That's the induction smelter. Okay, furnace goes second.
Yeah, you should probably grind it before you turn it into bars.
Yeah. Oh, I can't find it. If anyone's familiar with the Bill Gates syndrome, it's right there. God damn it. Alright, so it comes in through blue, which is this one. And then it goes out red, which is this one. But remember, it can double. So I set it to God damn it. So I set it to orange. I'm going to talk louder and scare off the cough. Now, by default, this is not set up to blue, so I have to set that to blue. Okay, there it goes. Bit of a delay. Scared the hell out of me. And then it'll put the extra stuff in there. So this is basically going to be your step 1 automation. I do this almost every world. It's super simple. You need pulverizer, redstone furnace, god damn it, 2 chests, and a hopper. Fairly simple. Now,
it's not getting into the second chest.
Got to set the output to the direction of your chest. Use my catch-all. Yeah. Now let's move to something a little bit more complicated. It's still fairly simple though. Igneous extruder, fairly simple to make. Lava, obsidian, or water together to make up cobblestone. Infinite cobble generator. Then pulverize it into sand. Make sure to output the secondary output somewhere, because it will get filled with gravel very shortly. And then you'll leave it, and it'll be automated, and it'll be great, and then it'll just be full of gravel, and it won't process anymore. Important thing to be aware of. And then output the sand to the induction smelter, and then output ore into the second slot, and there you go. It'll do all your ore for you. Now, I actually had a whole system set up with these, and I was going to make an inventory system to automatically feed ore, but it was getting way too complicated. It was just a lot of clutter. So I turned them all off, and now I'm just going to have them vomit items up in the air. Why aren't they vomiting items up in the air? There we go. Oh, God. I'm not... So, that's some basics with the contraptions. Oh, that's a terrible idea. That is lagging. I think that's about it, all there is for simple mechanisms. Like I said, I'll do an update video once they get the ducts out, which I think it's creeping up. I heard some talk about it. I think it was called thermal transmission or something like that. Can't quite remember. I only saw it in a little article on I think it was the Feed the Beast wiki for Thermal Expansion 4. I do believe that is it for the basics of getting started. I'll be doing shorter videos going into detail on these machines and things you can do. A lot of these are pretty simple. I mean, redstone furnaces, I mean, it's a furnace, it cooks. But some of the other ones have some very interesting features to them, especially the induction furnace. You can do some very interesting stuff, especially when combining them with other mods. So, one thing you can do with these, one of the things you can do with both of these systems, perfectly capable, is instead of a hopper and a chest, you can use an export, and instead of a chest here, an import bus from Applied Energistics, or ender chests, and then transmit it that way. Any form of item teleportation, these are fully pipe compatible. You can have it set up so you mine your ore, and it goes into one ender chest, gets transmitted over to, let's say this one because it looks fancier, and it gets put in there, dealt with, and all that, and goes out to the other ender chest and over to your ME system. Done. You never need to touch it. It's great. So later game, it takes that out of the equation. There's a lot of potential here. If you guys have made any simple machines or mechanisms that can be made early game that you think are extremely helpful, share them in the comments, video reply, describe them, something. I don't know. And I'm sure you'll think of something. Manage to invent a machine, so I'm sure you'll be able to invent a way to share your machine. I'm gonna look up why we have capes. I think that'll be it.